All right, can you hear me? There we go. Beautiful space. This feels like an altar. It's so lovely to be here in Berlin with all of you. People often say Berlin is like Burning Man all the time, you know. It certainly feels that way. We're going to try a little unique experiment here. I have Nate up there in the corner with a didgeridoo and an Ableton push. So we're going to have some improvised musical soundscapes for this. So Nate, you want to kick that off? Yeah. So yeah, just starting, here we are at this conference. Let's just try to drop into ourselves. A lot of big cerebral ideas. We can only do so much with that unless we really drop in. So just take a moment with yourself. And imagine the vision of the world that you want to live in, that you want to co-create. Because that's where it starts. It starts with that seed, with that vision. So, how did we get here? We have a lot of questions to ask right now in our current world. How are we going to build a culture that can truly allow our world to be, much as the speaker before me talked about, to remove that illusion of separateness, to remove these incentives in our competitive culture that ultimately cause us misery and misalignment? Well, perhaps having these physical spaces where we can actually go and reimagine what our culture is, where we can prototype the design of our new civilization is really important. I think that, in a way, that's what we're doing here. These conferences, these ephemeral experiences, these festivals that we design, that we go and we experience these immersive ways of life, and we reimagine who we are, what's most important to us, how we should be allocating our resources through experimentation, through art, through participatory culture. And what is that difference between coming in, me on this stage, you all out there, sort of this consumption experience, versus truly something that is participatory, that is co-created, that isn't locked into that safe model? That's really what makes Burning Man magical. It started as an experiment on the beach. A man burns, a group of people come together to witness this ritual, to reinvent a ritual. And it grows, a couple hundred people, moves from the city to the desert, this annual pilgrimage. And it grows. People come and they build big art sculptures. They come and bring their friends and build theme camps, different identities, different tribes. People come and they take this culture and they forge this cauldron of experience and they bring it home and they reimagine it. Don't cue the video yet, please. Not yet. Start with the image. And it grows over time, year by year, because there's this blank canvas that can't stay the same. It's not about creating a permanent piece of infrastructure. It's about reimagining every single year and letting go of what was built. And year after year after year, we now have Black Rock City. You can cue the image. 70,000 people living in this temporary city, prototyping the future of our civilization. And yet, it's become harder and harder to enter into that experience, because how will it truly be transformative if it's just for the people who are lucky or privileged or in the know enough to be there? If it's the Willy Wonka golden ticket to some utopian thing, how will that truly make a big impact in this world? So that's where we've been. Black Rock City now has reached its capacity of 70,000 people, and for the current moment cannot grow. So, all over the world, people from places like Berlin, Japan, Korea, South Africa, Sweden, Israel, Denmark, people have been coming to Burning Man, coming home, finding locations where they can start a similar environment. So these events now have grown. There's over 60 all around the world, multi-day events that take the same ethos of participatory culture with no money, with no trash cans, with really no predictive event structure, and come together and experiment with building community. The same problem. How do you scale this environment? How do you grow it without losing and diluting what is most fundamental to the experience? These are replicating. But after traveling the world and learning from so many of the burners and so many of the different types of festivals and civic experiments that are happening in many different disciplines, it became really clear to us a next step needed to happen in order to up-level this entire movement so that we could move more from these ephemeral experiments, these utopian dreams, cooking this new culture in that sort of peak state. How do we get to actually radically transforming the infrastructure of our civilization? Well, it's beautiful that we have intentional communities and these ways of living that people, if they're lucky enough, can live in this different way and experience so many of the benefits of that culture year-round. But maybe between these temporary experiences and these permanent intentional communities, maybe there's a step in between that's fundamental to allowing our whole world to be included in the process of moving forth. So that was 2.5 years ago when we decided together to start the project that was sort of a prophecy of the Burning Man vision. It was where the event was held in 1997. And just last month, we completed the acquisition of Fly Ranch. Fly Ranch, the overall valley, is roughly the size of Manhattan, 20 square miles. Our property is 3,800 acres. It includes beautiful hot springs, hot lakes that hundreds can swim in, and geysers, and a very, very large playa, this open tabula rasa, this context for reimagining our civilization. So now we own this property year-round in the nonprofit organization. It's really a gift for the community, by the community. It's been funded completely philanthropically by a group of patrons who believe that the process of us coming together as a community and experimenting with what could happen there isn't just something that will happen on this site at Fly Ranch, but ultimately that having these semi-permanent locations that are owned by community groups so that year-round iterations in the same template, much as we develop these technology tools, that we can get one step closer, bringing more and more people into the experience of co-creating and manifesting what will work as we reimagine and reinvent our civilization. Welcome to Fly Ranch. This is a new era for Burning Man. This is a gift from the Burning Man community as a social experiment for humankind in the 21st century. Thank you, and we'll show a video to sort of immerse you in the experience. We hope you can join us there soon. Thank you. This isn't photoshopped. This is the real geyser complex here. Here, we got the audio. Beautiful. There's currently no development whatsoever on this property. It's a blank canvas, and will stay that way for some time. Only temporary, different permutations of artistic development. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Bear.